Okay, so here we are playing Origins How We Became Human. This is still the first turn. I'm looking at the second player here, who is the Hobbit down here. And he's got a problem because he can't go anywhere, really. Luckily, it's an ice age, so he can walk through, I think, these, blocked during tropical. So he can walk across this strait and he can walk here. So he's got some spread available to him, but not a lot. Now, what does he have in his advantage? Well, first of all, he starts off with a higher innovation at 2. That means he gets 2 of those innovation actions. And one of them, he wants to take this. He's going to use Imitator, which allows him to grab another player's card from the discard and use it. Now, he can't use this part, but he can use the cannibalism, and he will. Yum, yum, yum. Okay. Now, what for a second, though? Lots of choices here. Silverback, which increases fecundity. I'm trying to remember what that meant in terms... That bones the opposite direction of what I just did. I don't want to do that. And nothing else is available, so I'm going to do Imitation again. Now, Imitation's interesting here because since I go so early, I can't ransack anything. I get the same advantage that I would off Novel Behavior, which is to draw a card. Unfortunately, this is a card I can't use. I can hold it in my hand, but it requires abilities I just don't have, either Acorn or Exclamation Point. So I'll put this down here. I'm not sure when these are going to come into play. I guess they're probably the public cards. There were no catastrophes. I can't play a card. What is my hand size? I used to know this, and now I forgot. Let's see. Oh, that ain't it. How about down here? Yeah, let's... 1 plus his best information card. So my hand size is 1. That's not a very good number. But I'm okay with the card right now. Because otherwise, I don't know what I'd do. I'd think I'd have to discard one. Stability roll. I don't have to worry, I've got a smiley face. Population actions. Now here I get population number. I get 1 population action. And I got some problems. But I do want to do the increase anyhow. And now I can move. Now there's nowhere for me to go anywhere except here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll move to here. I can move over this and this because it's an ice age. I don't know what these SNs are. Snakes? It's something. Must be it's a raw material because that's like gold. Gonna be resource extraction. SN. Maybe not. Maybe it's silver. Okay. It's probably something. We've got AG. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I really don't know. I mean, AU is probably gold, right? You know? But some of these, it's not clear. It would be nice if they matched, right? What a pity. But it's along with the rest of the game. Okay. So whatever SN is, Maybe I'll be able to find it somewhere. Or I can look on a periodic table. Alright. And now I've set myself up again so I don't starve because there's nothing near me. And I'll go on to the next player, the black player, who is Homo sapiens down here, getting somewhat cut off positionally. So our Homo sapiens had the option to either use the imitator ability or to use novel behavior. They have abilities for either. They chose to do the novel behavior, thinking maybe it'll give them an advantage over what everyone else is getting. Well, sort of, maybe, kinda. They drew this card. The only one they could use was food sharing because that has a little nut, whatever that is, natural knowledge, which gave them the same ability. And then spreading out for movement, they were left with a couple of choices. They could either try to reposition or do an attack, which would have killed both of them because it's based on metallurgy and they were tied. Or the only place they could expand to freely was up here on the Horn of Africa, which is kind of a dead-end location. Eventually they're going to have to fight their way out, I guess, but there were no other locations that wouldn't be sharing with blue or alphas. Alright, so now we go on to Peking Man, Homo erectus, up here, and he has a nut, but he has a high innovation. We'll see what happens with him. So Peking Man, with his 2 innovation and his naturalism, drew 2 cards. One was one, he drew his first one and said, I can use that so I can afford another card. The other card is a public card, which he's going to have to play. But first, we have a climate change catastrophe, I guess. Doesn't specify anything about it. We roll a die on here and see what happens. We got a 5, which means the greenhouse card changes. The greenhouse card is the Parkland, which says greens are habitable. And now it becomes jungle. Green sites and spots are not habitable. I don't think that's an across-the-board thing. Let's look to see. Somewhere I remember if you have pesticide or something, you can live in those. But anyway, that's changed the nature of the game a bit. The jungles are no longer good places to be. So people are going to have to move out of them or they'll die. When will they die? I'm not sure. Migratory units on spots that are no longer habitable due to climate are lost. I think it just happens right now. So is anybody sitting on a green space? And I wonder what happens if you disappear from the board. Okay. So now, during the card play phase, this sucker goes up for auction. Now, the only thing you can auction, you can bid on with your auction is your elders. Nobody's got any. He gets this card. And it says Appenyak. This is good, I think, for anyone. It counts as victory points for anyone. But I don't know where it goes precisely. Oh, it's a star. Okay, so now this allows population action acculturation during phase 5. Let's see what that means. Okay, well, we'll have to look that up, but it involves stealing elders from other players, and that doesn't really help us right now. Let's look to see what else we have. He can play his own card, and he kind of wanted to do this, male parental involvement. it gives him the advantage everyone else has in terms of growing his innovation. But he may not terribly want that. Oh, what the heck. I think it's a good idea. And see, what he really wants to do is he wants to get his brain moving. But all he has right now is an acorn, and that's not good for that. So he needs something else to do that with. Stability is fine. He can do a population action. His population number's 1. And now he can spread out. Now we're in an ice age, so he can't go up here. Plus he doesn't have hay, which would be needed. So where can he go? Well, try to go north. 1, 2, 3. Horses are good. Those are easy to domesticate. So he wants to be up there, I think. Alright. And that's his turn. There's no starvation for him. So he moves on, and it'll now be our Neanderthals. And the Neanderthals used their scavenging to grab a card. They wanted the innovation up to 2. I'm assuming that there are cards that are going to start giving me elders because I don't have a way to produce them right now. I don't think. Yeah, it doesn't look like I do. So it's got to be off the cards. Nothing seems to be granting them. It might have been tempting to try to grab one early, but because he has the ability to either use his hand to draw a card or use the imitator. But he figures some of these are becoming, they might end up getting buried by other players. So he wants to grab the ones that he can right now and let other people do the innovation if need be. He has the option to go either way. Alright, well, that's the end of the first turn. And what have we gotten? Well, nobody expanded heavily. I'm more interested in the technological expansions right now. So everybody kind of moved towards... Gotta make my way over to the Bering Strait at some point. Everybody kind of made their way towards trying to get to a higher technology rather than claiming a lot of land. Now, obviously using, what is it, the silverback, whatever the hell that means, I don't know what it is, you get that 2-up fecundity, which would drop innovations in reaction to giving you more population. That might be of interest to some of the players. Red should especially be considering crossing the Bering Strait at this point. But I like tech better. Alright, on to the next turn. And it's beginning to make sense to me, sort of, how the play is going. And I'm hoping it comes to you too. Trying to get it from the rules was just an impossibility.